Hi everybody and welcome to Paper Wishes Vlog. I'm Lene Gehrig and today I am really excited to bring you these wonderful SeaWorld rice papers from our friends at Stamperia. And they're beautiful, they're eclectic, and they all have this sort of steampunk SeaWorld theme. And let me take you through each one. This one is called Sea Star, and then there's Seahorse, and you can see that rice paper is very thin and translucent in areas and just wonderful for the mixed media look that we all love. Then we have Industrial, and then this is the Frames, which takes really different little vignettes from all of the other three and puts them in these little frames. So let me get right to these fun projects we have for you. This is a beautiful album that my friend Debbie made. It is so gorgeous. This is the 6x10 Foundations album from 49 and Market. And what's great about it is, I'm going to open this up, it has this great little elastic. I'm going to show you the album first, and then I'm going to show you how she did all these great techniques to it. And then it's got these wonderful pages that come loose and they open up and they fold out. And then you could also turn it around the other way and you could reverse that fold so that you could open them from the outside. You could also glue them in like this, so you just have a front and a back. They're meant to do anything that you want to with, and then you glue the pages inside the book, and I'll show you how that works as well. But first, let's get to this wonderful album. As you can see, Debbie used the Sea Star rice paper as her focal, and then at the top and the bottom, she also put some of the Industrial rice paper as well. And then she did some really beautiful techniques on here using, these are dazzled stickers called Hardware right here. And these are the ones that she used. And you can find all of these at paperwishes.com. I wanted to remind you about that. She also used from the, let's see, what was this one called? Time to Celebrate Dazzle sticker sheet. It has all kinds of clocks and gears and things on it, and she put little clusters of those as well. And there's this sort of little sort of wood and gold and wood button that's on the center of it that comes in a really great collection of buttons that we have, and some twine. And then this beautiful foil, gilded foil edging. So this is a Gilding Flakes kit, and I showed you this on yesterday's webisode. Also featuring the SeaWorld paper pack, and this is the gold flaking as well, and I'm going to show you right here on Debbie's cover. I'm just going to add a little bit of this so you can see how this works. Now I'd better get out my craft sheet, because if you've never worked with Gilding Flakes before, they are a wonder, but they tend to go all kinds of places. Okay, so yesterday I didn't have my paintbrush, but today I thought ahead and brought that. So we're just going to squeeze a little bit out of this adhesive liquid. This is Cosmic Shimmer Flake and Glitter Glue. It comes in the kit. And what Debbie did is, once she got all of her pieces of rice paper on the cover that she wanted, she then just went around the edges with this glue. Okay, and you can paintbrush that on, you can use your fingertip to just blot that on, you could use a little sponge. And then she took these wonderful little gold Gilding Flakes. Oh, and apparently she put the lid on really tight. There we go. And then you can just take these out, just one flake at a time. Here we go. Just like this. And then you're just going to stick them right there where that adhesive was. It's clear, so it's kind of hard to find where you've put it sometimes. So I like to just do little 1-inch sections, 2-inch sections at a time. Okay, and then this wonderful little sponge comes with it, and it's got a lot of tooth on that sponge. So it provides a little bit of grip. And you just go right on there, and it takes off that excess, and it adheres everything beautifully to that edge, and it takes off the excess, and then you can just plop those things right back in the jar. We don't want to miss any of those flakes because we're going to use them all eventually. All right, there we go. That is so fun to use. I'm going to put this over here in my box. Okay, and then on the inside of this wonderful album, Debbie did this amazing page. Look at this. Here's a page with this cruise that they took. I think they did a Disney cruise with the granddaughters. And look at this. She used from Penny Black, Destination Sentiments, and it's got all these wonderful stamps that are perfect for this kind of album and card making that goes with the SeaWorld collection as well. And then you open it up like this. Go back to the front so you can see. There we go. And then you open up the flaps. She's got more in the industrial paper here. And then you open it up again, and she's got more industrial paper and the seahorse right here. And she's cut out octopus and put more of the dazzles here, used the stamp. She used part of the words from the seahorse here as well. And on the background, she used these wonderful cosmic shimmer shakers. And this one is Teal Ocean and Pure Gold. And I'm going to show you how she applied these to the book page. Aren't they wonderful? And we're also going to talk about how she cut out these images and how you apply them to your pages. So we're going to do different projects, and we're going to show you how all that's done. But let me first show you. You take the page here, and there's all these little binding things that are sticking up. So when your page is completely done, okay, so you're working on a nice flat surface, and then your page is done and dry, you just take a little bit of glue, and you put it right there, and then you just glue it right into one of those tabs like that. And you can put your album together any way you like. So let's get right on this and show you how she used the shimmer shakers. I think what I'll do is just do it on the front here. Okay, so the first thing, I like to spray it with just some clear water, mist that on. And then we're going to open up the shimmer shaker, and we're going to tap, tap, tap their finger and apply that liberally. Whenever I'm usually doing one of Debbie's techniques with the shimmer shaker, I tend to have a little bit lighter hand, I think, than she does. So mine turn out a little lighter, which is fine. But then I generally have to go back over it again and darken it up. A little bit more water. And we're just taking, I like to use just a baby wipe that's already moist. Go back over that. And we're really, really wanting to get this wet, wet, wet. And then of course your paper's going to have to dry a bit afterwards. But it doesn't really take long, even though we're really loading this down. And then the last step is to add that gold. She kind of put it in spots and then just let it lead into the other color. All right, here we go. And as you can see, we're getting sort of that watery ocean look. That's what we're going for. And where she's got some streaks, even gonna let that run a little bit. And as you can see, it's just moving down the page, and it gets you that oceany look. And then when you're satisfied with how you've got that ocean wave look thing going on, then you're just gonna let it dry, okay? And then I would open up the inside and do those as well, okay? So this process will probably take an hour total. You wanna do the front, you wanna do the back, and then you wanna do the inside, letting them dry in between. All right. Oh boy, I am gonna need a lot of wipes today. I can tell we're gonna get really good and messy. Okay, now I wanted to show you, excuse me. I wanted to show you exactly how we take these sheets and we divide them. You can either cut them up using scissors and cut out specific elements with them, or you can use your little paintbrush and some water. Go. Ooh, my paintbrush is very dirty. And you just add that water, and I like to use a little fine line paintbrush, and I'm just gonna go right down the center between these two frames and making a little path of water. And then you can just tear right along that path. And what's interesting is because you've made a path, it's so fibrous, it doesn't really tear outside of that path. And then you've got this wonderful edge. It's a sort of a feathered edge. And that's what we're going for. Here's another project that Debbie did. And she used these wonderful ceramic plaques. They're actually terracotta, but we might call them ceramic as well. They come in all different shapes and sizes, even these little double packs of smaller ones. And she took one of these images and she coated the back of it with a mixture of water and glue. Put that right on her little ceramic plaque. Take some glue and some water. You want it pretty thin. Mix that up so it's pretty cloudy, it's pretty milky. Just coating the back of that. And this just takes us right back to those decoupage days. And once this is nice and wet, then I also like to put a coat of this glue mixture on the surface of the plaque as well. So you're coating the back of the rice paper and you're also putting some on the plaque. Because the ceramic, or the terracotta rather, is so porous, it's just going to suck that right up, but it also kind of seals it so that when you put this on, it does stick better. All right, there you go. And then this, of course, this is a different image, but you would just lay that right over there and then just cut off or tear off any of those edges around the outside, any of the excess that you don't want to use. All right, let's get rid of this. Then Debbie used just a variety of products here. She has these wonderful little white flowers, but then she added several different products to make them glistening. This is teal raspberry opal glaze polish. And it's just this little container, this wonderful stuff. There we go. You can just apply with your paintbrush to the flowers, to the surface if you'd like, and it just adds a little bit of glimmer and glitz to the surface. Then she added, this is Glitter Kiss, and the color is Dark Bronze Kiss. Let me show you what this looks like. And it's like a brown/bronze color. And she added that along with luster polish, and this one is Tantalizing Teal luster polish, and she added those both around the edges to cover up the ceramic, the white ceramic, and also put some right here on the surface of the flowers. She also used sparklets and these wonderful little enamel dots, and these are corner dazzle stickers. She used a few of those like right here and put those along the hairline here. Beautiful. And then on the back, if I can show you this, to take this label off, she glued 3 magnets. All of these things, the ceramic and the magnets, everything can be purchased at paperwishes.com. And so you've got a great fridge magnet. I gave these out for Christmas this year, and they were wonderful gifts that were really fun to make too. My daughter and I had a great time making those together. All right, so now we're also going to take a look at, we're going to build a project together. And this is a series of new products that we have also from Stamperia. They're called stone paper notebooks. And this one is a A6 size. And I didn't grab my ruler ahead of time to see how big that was exactly, because it is, it's about a 4 by 6. And then we also have a 5, and this one is a 5 3/4 by 8 inches. And we have one that's lined paper and one that's plain paper. And what's wonderful about stone paper is the cover has this amazing texture to it. It's got a lot of tooth, okay? So it's not regular paper, it's stone paper. It has this wonderful texture and tooth. So we don't want to just cover it with regular paper and not be able to feel that. So my solution to that was to use water reactive dye ink. And this is from Harmony Spectrum Noir. This is Pine Tree. I'm going to color. I'm going to take one of my brushes here, my blender brushes, and I'm going to get that nice and coated, blot it a little bit, and we're going to just work this color into the front here. And I use the water reactive because once we get the color on here, then we're going to do a little bit of a water technique, a little splattering, because I think that goes with the ocean theme very well. Okay, and I'm going to make sure and get the binding there. And I won't take time to do the back, but don't forget to do that yourself. Sometimes I get so excited about doing the covers that I forget to do the back until I'm all done. There we go. All right, and I also have Lagoon color. Do the same. That. Really bringing in those bright colors. Okay. Now I'm going to use a big paintbrush and some water. I'm going to do a little bit of spattering here. I want to make sure I have this dark enough because sometimes those water spots don't show unless it's nice and dark. Even going to take some of that color blotted here. I'm just going to tap the brush, get my water splatter on there. I like using the brush because it gives me a little bit more of a control. You could also use an old paintbrush and dip that into the water and spatter it. The spatters will be finer, and I find you have a little less control over where you're putting them, but it's also a great look. Now, I'm going to take some dry paper, just take some of that color right off. Because it's water reactive, the water hit that ink that was already on the book, and it left us this great background splatter. Now you can see I'm using colored water. It doesn't matter, it's still water. And that's just lifting off the ink that was already on the book. Okay. And I kind of left this area. I didn't worry about that because that's where we're going to glue. All right, so we're going to do our little glue mixture again. Make it nice and milky. Paint this on. Trying to do this quickly because nobody likes to just watch glue being put on things. That's not very interesting to me. There we go. I'm going to put this right on the cover. I've got that straight. Of course, you wouldn't have to put it straight. You could put it at an angle too. All right, and then I want to make sure that I'm just getting some of this glue mixture on the front of it as well. But we have to be careful. We don't want to take off our ink. You noticed I did that at the bottom there. I'm going to just take a little bit there and go like that. Okay, there we go. We've got that done. And now we're going to have some fun and add some little goodies to this. So I have got Shimmerit's Desert Sky, and they're just wonderful little sparkles. I'm going to be using some of those. And I've also got some little pixie petals right here. They come in packages of 18. This color is salmon. So I'm going to be using salmon and mint and sea glass and parchment. We're just going to be putting these little clusters here for our adorable little notebook. And, whoops. Go. And I'm even going to add a little bit of the luster polish that Debbie used. It's got this great little sponge in here. Now what we're going to do is just add a little bit, a shock of it, just to get our mixed media vibe going. We're going to spread that around a little bit with a moist towel. And putting some of these little shimmers on here, and they even come with these little stars. So we're going to use those as well. Go. All right, and you'll notice I put my little clusters at the top and then in the kind of the opposite corner. That's how that works. Trying to figure out if I've got everything I need here. Oh, I forgot one thing. I'm going to be using a stencil. I also featured this one on yesterday's webisode. It's Crackle Stencil, and it's also by Stamperia. And I should have done this first, but we're just going to add this on there. We're just going to add another little texture. This is Decofoil Metallics Gel. And I forgot my little palette knife, so we're just going to put some of that right there. And I love using my little Stencil pal. Just applying some of this copper kind of here and there where it's going on the crackle. I want it to be pretty sporadic, and I would definitely do this before adding the flowers. I just got ahead of myself. And really, I'm just making sure that I'm going off the edges of my book. That's really the only important thing here, is that it's not just floating in space. I like to ground it by going off the edges. There, we put that on there. I'm going to go over here a little bit as well. A little bit at the top. All right, there we go. So there's our notebook. This is our stone paper notebook. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit, and then you can see the finished book in the gallery when you click on any one of these rice papers. That. One last little technique here, and then we're going to be done. Clean up. I also wanted to show you, seeing how the papers work when you use them on regular paper, stone paper, and I wanted to show you how they work when you use them on watercolor paper, especially when you're getting things really nice and wet. Here we go. So here's my watercolor paper. I have to grab a couple of wipes for this one. All right, so for the watercolor paper, I'm using this Aqua by Spectrum Noir watercolor cardstock. And for this, we're going to go back and we're going to use the Lagoon water reactive ink. Just going to do that right down one edge. And it's okay if we get some blotches on this. I don't mind. We want a little extra texture on there. Once again, we're going to do that little splatter technique. Some more water. Okay, and then we want to pick up that water using a dry towel. Okay. So now we've got a torn piece. This is from the industrial. We want to make sure that our paper is going to be moist, so I'm going to put that on the background of the watercolor paper. Once again, make our little glue, milky glue. And we're going to be putting that along that torn edge. I only did one side of the torn edge because I used a corner of the industrial paper. You know, another product that might be good for this is to use our sticky speck paper, which makes adhesive on the back of things. I wonder how that would work. Might be quicker for coverage. All right. That's going to go right there along our edge. So we want that inked edge to show there. I'm going to take my scissors. Where are my big scissors? I can't find my big scissors, so we're going to use my little scissors. Not ideal, but it will work. I'd also encourage you to wait for this to dry before cutting it, but we are in a hurry, so we're not going to take that time. All right. All right, now we're going to put this on a card front. And you can do this technique on the surface of a card. I just find that the card gets, when it gets really wet, it gets warped. I like to do that on paper first, on watercolor paper. Got a little glue on my fingertips, so I'm going to use that to get everything tacked down. All right, there we go. Also going to use a couple of our little corners here. They're corner dazzles. Also not a great idea to put these on the wet paper, but we're just going to wing it. There we go. And then we've got wonderful little deep sea diver mask. And for time's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue to this so we can move along. But normally I would do my glue slurry. Go. And we've also got from Creative Expressions, the Mini Expressions cutting die, and I love this one. It says "Be Unique." And I love that, and I thought that just will fit our card. A little bit of glue on the back of this. Down there. And then we're just going to add a few little flowers. And we'll be done. I just think the mixed media style is just, it's fun, it's really on trend, and it just lets your just creative juices flow. I really like that. And I'm going to use a few of our little shimmers, desert sky shimmers. Just building up little bits of texture and glimmer are so fun when doing this technique. There we go. All right. I think that's going to do it. So there's our card. All right, so you can see there's just lots to play with on all of this, and I'm just going to bring in all these projects to take another look at. So we have a wonderful money saver. I would really encourage you to check that out for this wonderful collection of rice paper. If you are watching us on the vlog page, there is a there's a new money saver button right below the video, and you can click on that. And there's also links for the money saver throughout the vlog page. Make sure you don't miss that. And if you're watching us on YouTube, look for the money saver link in the description box directly below the video. And there's also a link to paperwishes.com. There's more videos and there's lots of great products, so be sure to check that out. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.